Hey everybody, I am live. Welcome to the channel, Natural Ally D. I'm getting started here. Happy March 31st, 2023. Getting myself adjusted here. This is my second live that I have, and I'm gonna wait for a few moments to see if folks come in. If not, if it's just me, I'm gonna keep it rolling. Oh, how are you this Friday night? And let's see, try to pull my own self up so I could monitor. Give me one moment. Here we go. Ah, there you go. Ah, there you go. Say hello and say hello and okay. So I wanted to get on this live today and answer some Q&A. Let me cut that feedback. Get on this live today and do some Q&A. I've had some questions in regards to using essential oils and some of the, hi new one, my BCV. Oh, nice to see you here. Thank you for joining. I wanted to get on and do some Q&A, and because I've had some questions and I've responded to in the comments, and I wanted to elaborate on those questions and also give you a bonus recipe today. That there was another question that I had. I haven't done a video for it, so I said, why not do it both at the same time? So that's what I'm doing today, and welcome. So to get started, so some of the questions that I've had in relationship to a video I did, let's see. Let me go back. First off, before I do that, I have done a video with providing you with my why for doing these types of videos and why I started my YouTube channel and everything. And just to give you a little bit of background, I know if you've seen some of my videos, you know I am a social worker and an aromatherapist, certified aromatherapist, and it is, truly a passion of mine as a social worker. And this is Social Work Month, the month of March. It's also my birthday month, so I have my birthday shirt on, sweatshirt today that I designed. But as a social worker, it is our true passion in general to share, right? And so in that vein, I decided to share my two passions, social work and aromatherapy and being healthy in general, with my community. But it didn't start this way. I actually started with my faith family. I started sharing these essential oil lessons with my faith family, and then I decided to move on to my community and say, well, how many more people might be interested in this information, right? So fast forward, here I am today. So I hope you find value in what I bring to you. If you have anything that you want to know about, want to elaborate on some of my videos, more than welcome to leave comments, and I appreciate that. And we'll see about getting you those answers or video such as this one to answer those questions for you. Okay. So that's just to give you a little bit of background about me. So getting to the questions. So the questions that I've had, and there have been a couple. Let's see. During the holidays, I did a series on DIY body scrub. Yeah, it was a gift body scrub that I mentioned that the ingredients had honey in it, and so the person was asking. I'll leave a link to one of those videos in the description or comments after this is done. But the subscriber asked, what was it could I use or could they use instead of honey if you're vegan, right? I said, I never thought about that. So vegans wouldn't you necessarily use honey in a body scrub. So one of the two things I recommended is using a carrier oil. And that carrier oil, let's see, the carrier oils that I recommend there are two, are my go-to favorites. They are jojoba carrier oil. I use a lot of that. Organic if you can. Or grapeseed oil. And I actually get this at our local store or what have you. So these are my two go-to carrier oils for using if I'm, not using a carrier such as honey or something like that, or dead sea salts in a scrub. And so you can replace the honey in the scrub with jojoba or grapeseed. So that works just fine. And the reason I like jojoba because it has first of all, it has a long shelf life and it mimics a certain layer of our skin. I want to say sebaceous. I don't know, my biology person. You on the live. Am I saying that right? You know what I'm trying to say. But jojoba oil is actually like a wax, right? And it mimics that layer of our skin. So I love jojoba because it has a long shelf life, and just for that reason too. Let me see, what are some other benefits? I think I got that. Yes, you are. Thank you, sweetheart. I knew you would know. She is all things science. New one on here is all things science. Wonderful person to know about some of everything. Let's see. Jojoba is moisturizing. It has little or no aroma. It's very high shelf life, like I mentioned. It's great for massage and it's good for balancing the skin's natural oil. So jojoba is usually hear me talk about that in a lot of my recipes. So if I'm saying carrier oil, then most definitely that would be the one. And then the grapeseed oil. I like using grapeseed if I'm going to fry, not very often, but if I'm going to fry foods, I like using grapeseed because it has a high smoke point from number one. Number two, it's also a good carrier oil. And the carrier oil, let me say, as a carrier oil, I should say, grapeseed is high in vitamin E. It absorbs quickly, it's non-greasy. It has a high shelf life as well. It's great for massage and it's good for dry, damaged, or aging skin. Okay, so I love those again because of the qualities that they have, and it has a high shelf life. Those are my two go-to oils. So if you watch my series about the body scrub, you want an alternative because you're vegan and don't want to use the honey, you can certainly use those two carrier oils. Of course, there are others, but those are the ones that I usually go to. So that was one question. Let's see. The other was using Prosperity Blend by itself. Okay, also, I know what this question was about. So this viewer saw my series on prosperity oils, and if you haven't checked that out, I did a series about prosperity essential oils at the beginning of the year. And at the end of the series, I created a prosperity blend. So the viewer was asking, well, do I have to blend all of them, or can I just use one of them? Most certainly you can just use one of them. You can use them by themselves, or you can create the blend if you want to. I also think I put information for a link to a similar blend, but doesn't have all the ingredients in it when I commented back. But just to give you a demonstration. So one of the prosperity essential oils, let's see. There were 5 of them, and one of them was definitely bergamot, frankincense, and myrrh. I have some here, yeah. So I have some bergamot. This is actually from one of my go-to companies. I like to go to Eaton Botanicals when I want a large quantity of something, like when I'm making something, um, because they have large quantities. You want something in bulk, or you want it more economical. So Eaton Botanicals is one. So I have, that's bergamot. Let's see. This is frankincense. I have a sample bottle of this, and some myrrh. Okay. So if you don't want to create the blend, that's fine. You can simply use the blend with a teaspoon of carrier oil. So I'm going to use, let's see, a rough teaspoon of carrier oil. So you're simply, when you want to use it on yourself, you're just simply either pouring in, this is a rough teaspoon, and you're adding 1 to 2 drops. Less is more. I'll just add 1 drop. Rub it in. You can use it. You can inhale it if you want. It's a lot on your hand. You can use it as a lotion, or use it on your pulse points on your body. Oh, let's see. And the pulse points, if you're not familiar, you can use it on, like, pulse point on your neck, for example. There's a pulse point. I'll just demonstrate a couple. So your neck is a pulse point. Your temples, right? Your temples are a pulse point on your body. Okay, and one more. The back of your ears are a pulse point. And I'll leave a link in the description for, or comments after I'm done, for you to see further demonstration. But those are some other ways you can actually use, just using one essential oil, how you choose to. The pulse points are very relaxing for you. Let's see. I did. So the neck is one for sure. It said it's most powerful way to use essential oil. Okay. If you're having trouble sleeping at night or applying essential oils, but this actually mentions lavender. Okay, but you can certainly use the essential oil that I just mentioned. So I use bergamot. You could use frankincense again, or you can use myrrh if you choose to. Now, getting to that, so to answer your question, yes, you can most definitely watch, and you can definitely just use one essential oil, okay? And getting into that, using lavender. So lavender essential oils, I'm going to demonstrate for you this bonus recipe. I did have another question where they were asking they wanted to use a natural dryer sheet, and because they didn't want to use the kind with I guess regular dryer sheets with the sticky stuff and on it. And so I did a little research, and I came up with a recipe that I actually use now that I love. I've got my jar, my dryer sheet, from which I have labeled. And what it is, I'll put a link to that. I actually got this recipe from Wellness Mama, so it's not mine, but I certainly took it and ran with it because I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So the recipe calls for actually only 2 ingredients for this dryer sheet. I'm like, 2 ingredients, that's awesome. So it calls for 1 cup of white vinegar. So I had some vinegar here, and I've already poured some in here. Not quite 1 cup, because they didn't want you to saturate you're taking like a baby cloth or a maybe a baby washcloth or something similar. And I can't think of the name. What's the name? A polyester cloth. Here we go. A polyester cloth, something like that, or a baby cloth. And you're going to saturate this. But not saturate, I take it back. You're going to moisten this in here. It says moisten, but don't saturate. So it doesn't take much. You know, just enough to wet it. What I forgot to mention is in this cup of vinegar, you are adding 25 plus drop. They said 25 plus. I just kept it at 25 of lavender essential oil. So to this cup of vinegar, again, I've only got maybe, I think it's about a fourth of a cup. 25 drops of lavender. And I'll just moistening it. And then you're actually going to store it in this is a 8-pint jar like this. And I label it. Okay. So this is one of my other YouTube sisters. Her daughters was asking about this recipe, and I labeled it. And I use this. I put this in my dryer. And the recipe indicates that the vinegar smell goes away and you're just left with the lavender. I have tried it a couple of times, and maybe because my nose is sensitive, I do smell a little bit. But I guess if you add more lavender essential oil, because the recipe does say 25 plus, and I only did 25, so add a little bit more to your liking, okay, for that recipe, and see how it works out for you. It might be something that you decide that you like, a natural alternative to dryer sheets, okay? So that's another question I had. What was the other one? Oh, another question that I wanted to answer for someone. They were asking, I think I sort of talked about this a little bit in the beginning. How did you get started in aromatherapy? So, going back a little bit further, I can't say that I've always been a health person, but I would say for the past 20 years, I've been on this journey, if you will, of natural alternatives and healing and what have you. I, growing up had some health challenges that, for whatever reason, back then I just thought it was just the worst. Why am I the only person who going through this, right? But fast forward, maybe about 2002, I decided to become vegetarian due to health concerns like dealing with eczema, dealing with asthma, what else was I dealing with? That was enough. Because back then, all they did was give you some cream, tell you to take an inhaler, and if you have an episode of asthma, then what do? Nebulizer, okay? And then send you home. But for me and us, or our family, there wasn't much natural maintenance or prevention, if you will, okay? So fast forward, went to college, had an episode, and I had a male nurse tell me that you need to get an allergy test. Did that, found out I was allergic to a plethora of things. Fast forward some more, and I decided to change my eating habits, right? And then from that, what else did I do? From that, I decided to become a vegetarian. That was an interesting road to start now, particularly when you're the only person around you who is. And quite frankly, who still is. But in my family. But I can honestly say that I feel like it has prolonged my life well, first I give all that glory and honor to God. But I feel like that had I not had those challenges when I was younger, it wouldn't set me up for where I am today, if that makes sense, okay? And I I'm thankful. So, getting back to this, going back to the health background. Fast forward to 2014, having a health challenge in school, such as I'm always am, because I love to learn, right? I had a professor introduce me to a wonderful naturopathic doctor called Dr. Joel Wallach, and he is all things natural. Talked about, foods and things that could irritate us, and I was like, opened up a whole new world, okay? And from there, I was introduced to a master herbalist and a certified aromatherapist. Never heard of that. Went to a weekend retreat. And then from there, she started a school, signed up for the school, and the rest is history. Now, today, I'm a certified aromatherapist, and continuing education is always key. And I enjoy sharing what I have learned. And again, with my background in social work, that's what we do, most successfully, or try to do. I mean, of course, there are many types of different social workers, but at the crust of us and the gist of us, we definitely are sharers. So when I became a certified aromatherapist, I was like, okay, I have this knowledge. Who am I going to share it with? Because I can't hold on to it. That's just not my spirit anyway. But I was like, who can I share this with? Shared it. Shared some information with my faith family. And they were thrilled. They wanted me to share with the congregation. And I have been doing so since about 2018. And then I decided to broaden it out a little bit more. I said, okay, then who else might be interested in knowing, particularly in our community, who might want to know about natural modalities to different things, and why not essential oils, and perhaps help with some of the concerns that we'll have, be it pain or other issues that you may be having, that perhaps essential oils can be beneficial. And I did mention, or somebody mentioned, I won't say who, that we are not into essential oils. Like I guess Black and brown communities aren't into essential oils when I was first starting off. And I found that very interesting. I was like, oh, okay. So I did a little research and realized, okay, but a lot of the medicines that we take may have components or origins in plant life, right? And or maybe mixed with something else. Correct me if I'm wrong, new one. Maybe mixed with something else that came from the same plant that might have been essential oil, okay? And so, that wasn't discouraging or anything like that, but I said, well, perhaps maybe not. I've obviously what they were saying was not the gospel, or you say, as new one may say, bubblegum gospel. That here I am today, and in sharing the information, the more people I meet in the network and the people who enjoy it, I have been able to help people who know about me sharing and being a certified aromatherapist. I've gotten texts about what to do for X, Y, and Z, lead them in a direction to make an informed decision about what essential oil they could try. Okay, I never tell anyone to stop any conventional medicine or anything like that, but it can definitely complement, I believe, from whatever that you may be going through, whatever you may be experiencing. It's definitely worth looking into, particularly if you like natural, modalities, or looking for alternatives to conventional medicine. Then it's a way to go. I enjoy doing what I do, and it's wonderful. I can't say enough about it. And using essential oils, and there's so many different ways to use essential oils, and I love being creative. Okay, just this past week I was making soaps. Did you know you can make your own soaps? I love doing DIY with essential oils, making body butters. If you look in my About tab, I do have a DIY body butter for which I have shared a recipe for. It's my own personal recipe, and I, enjoy doing that. And one of the things I love making soaps. I think I mentioned that on one of my other videos too. So I think you might like this one. Um, I know of another new one. You might like this one for obvious reason, but this is a lavender soap I made, you know. Another one being creative, using essential oils. And it does have pure essential oils. There's no fragrance oils in it. Something like this. So this is the sun and moon. My sun and moon, and this is actually peppermint essential oil in this. I love, oh yeah, I made one with, for the men in my family. And this one is actually, what is this one? Cedarwood, sandalwood, and there's another one, ginger. So that smells absolutely divine. Also, I had a cute little mold that I wanted to make for if you celebrate Easter holiday. It's a cute little mold like this with cute little hearts in them, and this one, what is this one? Peppermint, definitely peppermint. Okay, so I love making essential oils. So it's for therapeutic properties for sure, but you can make wonderful DIY gifts for your family. You can share with others. My hope is that, the information I provide, make you comfortable to do your own due diligence and research in using essential oils, for using it in soaps or what have you. And the idea is to choose essential oils, do your due diligence again in your research when you're choosing essential oils, and not just picking them up just because you say you like the way something smells. Well, that's wonderful, but is that an essential oil that's good for you? Perhaps not. If you're taking certain medications, you always hear me talk about safety. If you're taking certain medications, it's not advisable for you to partake in essential oils. Like, for example, this peppermint, I wouldn't give it to anyone that I know of who is on high blood pressure medication. So it's not advisable. There was like a extreme caution just because of the counterindications with medication. So those are things you need to be mindful of when you're using essential oils. And just I try to give you a few tips that you might not want to become a certified aromatherapist. You just might want to learn how to choose an essential oil. Say, okay, what are the couple of steps I need to know quickly to at least choose an essential oil, make an informed decision, and then go from there. Okay, so that's what I had to share with you today about that. I don't see any questions in the chat. And I thank you for the people who are watching. I said if it was just only me, I still was going to get on here. I decided to do this. I wanted to do it before the end of the month, before next month. Tomorrow is April here. I think it's already April 1st in other countries. But I wanted to get on here and share this information with you. Hopefully it's beneficial. Get to know me a little bit more and go from there. I so appreciate the two persons who are watching. Thank you, New One, and whomever else is on here. The other person, hello. And if you have any questions, either of you can certainly put them in the chat. I think I've covered everything that I meant to cover. So I covered the questions. I covered making the DIY lavender sheets. I've covered the holiday using the body scrub. You can certainly substitute jojoba and grapeseed in your body scrub, so you can watch those series of videos. Also, what else? Using the prosperity essential oils by themselves. Speaking of which, I mentioned about pulse points, okay? Another application is one of my go-to applications for using essential oil is using a sniff stick. I say, what is a sniff stick? So it's like, you get these tubes. If you put essential oil safe inhalers, excuse me, and got them on Amazon. It actually comes with a wick on the inside of this, and you put 10 drops of the wick on the inside of the essential oil safe inhaler, and you just simply take a whiff. It reminds you of a Vicks stick, if you ever knew what a Vicks inhaler is, but you're making your own as DIY. So this is another one of my go-to ways of using essential oils is inhalation and or, oh, my other one's diffuser. You might have seen me demonstrate a diffuser on one of my videos as well. So I do have a question. Oh, thank you, new one. Love you. Appreciate you. Can you rub oils on the bottom of your feet? You can use essential oils on the bottom of your feet. And I would recommend that you use a carrier oil. There is a way to use it, what they call neat by itself. And if that is using one drop, I emphasize one because more is not better with essential oils because it's concentrated. And what you would simply do, depending on what you're using it for, and what essential oil, what do I have? This is myrrh. So you would take that one drop, right? And if you apply essential oils at the bottom of your feet, it goes through your system in less than 30 seconds. I think it's even less than that, but it goes through your system relatively quickly. Typically, everybody's feet and skin condition and health condition is not the same, okay? But typically, if you take one drop, we're going to pretend like this is our big toe. And the way I was instructed is that you go across the crease of your big toe, okay? Go across the crease of your big toe, go up to the top of your big toe, and down to your heel. Okay, so again, we're just pretending this is our big toe. We're going to go across the crease of our big toe, go up to the top of our big toe, and down to the heel. And that's how I've been instructed to use essential oil on my feet. And I do this particularly for cold and flu season, like it is here in the U.S. I don't know where you're watching this from, anywhere in the world, but I have some go-to essential oils that I like to use. One is called First Defense. That is actually a blend. I have another blend, To Be Well. What else? Some of my other go-to oils might be tea tree to put on the bottom of my feet, but definitely during cold and flu season, that is before I even leave out, I'm putting on something. You know, you can never be too cautious. And this was even before this season that we're in, okay? Even before that, I had been doing that, a little bit more vigilant about it now, to help with anything that might be going on or in the air or what have you. I figure you can never be too cautious when you're going out. So yes, to answer your question, new one, excellent question. Can you rub oils on the bottom of your feet? I would recommend you using a carrier oil, but if you use it what they call neat in the aromatherapy world, using one drop and doing it the way that I demonstrated, going across the crease of your big toe, up your big toe, and down to your heel. Okay, again, when using essential oils, because they're very concentrated, more is not better. Definitely not better. Um, that you don't want to have a reaction that you might not be familiar, that might be causing a reaction to. Okay, so let's see. No, no more questions. I don't have any more questions. I think I've answered all the questions that um, I have received. And if I forgot any, definitely later on put them in the comments, and I will try to address them. In my last video, I talked about that the next series of videos that I'll be working on is health essential oils, top essential oils for health. Okay, general essential oils are like the go-to to have in your arsenal, if you will, of essential oil. So that would be my next series of essential oil presentations, however you want to put it, that I'll be sharing with you. And I think that's it. Yep, that's all the notes I have for today. And if there are any more questions, I will leave the information that I was talking about today. I'll leave a link to that Google Doc in the comments, talking about jojoba oil, talking about pulse points, and what else? Oh, if you choose to purchase essential oils or the carrier oils, I'll leave links for those. Full disclaimer and transparency, I am associated with a company that has essential oils, but they carry them in the 10 milliliter bottle. So I also want to give you an opportunity where I get my larger bottles from. So the company that I am associated with is Longevity. So give you options. Again, we only carry the smaller ones, but definitely wanted to share with you where I get my bulk essential oils from when I need them, and making the things that I do. I definitely need more essential oils than what a 10 milliliter bottle looks like. Let's see, is this is even a 5, so this is a 10. So about, I think this is a 10 milliliter bottle. Yeah, so something like this I would go through very quickly. So yeah, but so if there's no more questions, I appreciate you being here. The two wonderful people who are watching, much love to you. I wanted to do this before the end of the month and social work month, and I appreciate you and love you and all your support, and all those who do watch. I am grateful. Thank you. I think the other watchers, maybe Lady Caroline. You have a wonderful evening, everyone. And until next time, if you like this live, let me know about it. If you would like for me to do another one, I did one last one in October. That was funny. I had to do a retake on that. So hopefully this one turns out a little bit better. But I can see about scheduling more regular lives with any information that you would like to learn. If that's something you would like for me to do, let me know. And let's, as my saying goes, let's continue to learn, to grow, and share together naturally. Okay? Love ya, and have a good night, y'all. Bye-bye. Let's see. Yep. God bless you, and I love you. Bye-bye, y'all.